All right, so welcome. This will be a 60-minute flow gentle class. My name is Megan, and it is wonderful to be here with you. If you're here right now, you know it's kind of a cloudy, blustery day. If you're tuning in at a different time, the weather is what it is. And maybe that's the place I'd invite us to start our practice with, is this realization that, like the weather, our life circumstances, our emotions, they come and they go like the weather. But I think some parts of that idea that they arrive and they leave again become difficult for us to remember, especially if we're in the thick of something that feels a little bit difficult or sticky. We think it arrives and it's going to stay forever. So if you're in one of those places right now, or the next time you are, your yoga is here to remind you that all of life is temporary, and this idea of impermanence pervades the yoga practice. And so we come here to make our bodies more mutable, so that we can not get fixated on things being permanent. We're not permanent. Situations in our lives are not permanent. And so this idea of connecting breath and movement is our way of staying mutable, flexible, and changeable, so that we can ride the flow of life rather than stay in our mutable or our unmutable selves. I'll invite you to blink your eyes closed and find a seat that's comfortable for you. And wherever that seat is, feel what is touching the ground right now, making contact with an unmutable presence for the most part in our world, which is the earth, the planet beneath us. And let your body set itself down on this stable presence called the earth. And feel a sinking into that, almost a cradling sensation of the planet coming up and supporting you. And then connect with your breath. And right away, when we connect with our breath, we connect with the aspect of ourselves that is changing, that is mutable. It has parts to it. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And as you inhale and exhale, and then feel the arrival of the next inhale, maybe explore for yourself which part of the cycle of experience is where you might get stuck. Is it entering in to new beginnings, riding that middle path where things are just moving along and you have to participate with it? Or is it allowing an ending to come? We all have our places and our ways of creating resistance for ourselves. And that's what our yoga practice is here to shed light on. And awareness is key to becoming more adaptable, more capable of riding the flow. gather your hands together in front of your heart space. Touch into this place where you can begin to know another permanent or a permanent part of you, which is your essence, your soul, what is most true about you. And honor this practice of yoga, which brings us back to this place where our humanness meets our divinity. And we employ both to move through our lives. Welcome to your practice. And now you can open your eyes and return your hands down onto your knees. Sit up nice and tall here. Just bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Roll them back behind you and lower them back down. And do that a couple more times, drawing the shoulders up, rolling them back, and then exhaling them down your back. Keep that circular forward, up, back motion going. A few more rounds following the breath, inhaling and lifting, exhaling and releasing. And after your next circle, going backwards, switch it around. Make your circles go forward, so the inhale is behind you, up, and forward is the exhale. Here we've made a switch. Maybe one was more comfortable for you, one direction more comfortable. You've already pivoted. Just come into this experience, however it's greeting you. One more, circle this direction. And then rest your shoulders down in their natural position. Take your right hand, tent it off to the right. Inhale your left arm up alongside your head. And as you exhale, tip over towards the right side of your mat. Stay here, feeling a little breath filled between the spaces in the left ribs. Bringing the element of air into the body in more ways helps us become more mutable. Then inhale up to center. Go right back the same direction. Exhale, twist to the right. Let your left hand drop outside your right thigh. Sit up nice and tall and find a twist. Keep the breath flowing. Using, it really isn't a position that we're not still moving in. The breath is moving. The exhales perhaps creating a little deeper twist. When we're sitting still, change is happening. And then return back to center. Take your left hand and tent it off to the left side. Reach your right arm up and tip over to the left. Here we focus on the ribs on the right side body. Keeping the right sit bone pressed into the planet, extending along the right side, creating space rather than focusing on the solid pieces of ourselves. One more breath right here. And then on your next exhale, you can just twist around, letting the right hand come down by the left thigh, taking your left hand somewhere behind you, sitting up tall, using the inhales and the exhales to keep that alchemical process of finding something something different each moment. So then return to center. Let your hands just clasp around the tops of your knees here. And now we're just going to kind of do a version of seated cat-cow. As you inhale, press your belly and your chest forward towards the front of your mat. As you exhale, curl through your spine. Take your chin towards your chest. Do that a few more times. Drive belly and chest forward. Maybe your gaze starts to lift. And then the exhale is the round. Inhale, come forward. And when you exhale and round back, almost hang on to your knees some so you can really draw back and trust your own body to bring you into a deeper cat position. Do one more round in each direction. And then after that, come forward and make your way to tabletop position. Look down, see your fingers, spread them nice and wide, and get note of the space between your hands. And then press your hands into the floor and press them out wide. So they're going to move in this direction. They're not actually going to move, but you're the action of tractioning your hands towards the edges of your mat. And when you do that, notice how that space between your shoulder blades puffs up towards the ceiling. Again, not a very visible response, but feel it nonetheless. Draw your navel towards your spine. Keep breathing. Notice how just by doing those actions, there's a lot of energy in the body. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, sit back towards child's pose. But once your sit bones touch your heels, you're going to let go of the exhale, and then the inhale is going to bring you right back up. And you're going to do that same tractioning, hands out to the side of your mat as you press down, feeling that puffing up between your shoulder blades. And then exhale, press into your hands, go back into child's pose. Use the next inhale to ride up back into tabletop, tractioning your hands to the edge of the mat. Once more, sit back into your exhale and your child's pose. And then inhale, return to tabletop. Beautiful. Lift your right leg up behind you and press the ball mount of your foot to the back of your mat. And even though you can't see it, see the space between your toes and try to create a little bit more. And then when you inhale, bend your right knee so your right foot goes up towards the sky. And then exhale, re-extend your right leg. Again, inhale, bending. Exhale, extend. Once more, keep the navel towards the spine so the whole body is engaged. And then exhale your right leg long and take your right leg over to the left side of your mat. Press into your hands, same method. Tractioning out to the edges of your mat. Turn and look back over your left shoulder. Keep that action in the upper body. Tractioning the hands to the edge. Probably get sick of me saying that today. And then return your right leg out long in front of you. And keep it there, or maybe the exhale brings your right knee to your right elbow. And one more of those. Stretch the right leg behind you. Exhale the right knee to the right elbow. And then back to tabletop. Now the left side. Press and reach out through the bottom of the left foot. Engage the hands, the upper back here, navel to the spine. Spread through your toes. And then inhale, bend your knee. Exhale, re-extend. Inhale, bend your knee. Exhale, re-extend. One more bend here. Reach back through your left foot and then cross your left foot over to the right side of your mat. Look back over your right shoulder. Maybe on this side, right from here, the left knee comes up to the left elbow. And then you exhale your left leg straight back behind you. Once more, elbow to knee. and then reach back. Lower your left foot or your left knee to tabletop. Curl your toes and press up into your first downward facing dog. So, guess what? Hands are pressing towards the outside of your mat. And kind of even experiment a little bit here. See what happens between your shoulder blades when you don't do that, and then what happens when you do. Feel the energy right up the arms and draw all the way into the upper back. Then when you engage navel to spine, you have a nice firm upper body. And then you draw heels towards the ground. You bring that stability into the lower body as well. So a few more breaths here. Your downward facing dog, which is a pose that really encompasses so much energetically. So breathe into it. Let this pose be here for you, shifting and changing your experience of being you in this moment. And then walk your feet forward. Find the top of your mat. Uttanasana is a forward fold. Press into your fingertips. Draw that space between your shoulder blades here. It's by drawing shoulder heads out to the edge of your mat. Keep a slight little bend in your knees, and when you exhale, hinge and fold. And then keep that idea of rolling shoulder blades away from each other. Bring the navel up in towards the spine and allowing the top of your head to hang straight down towards the floor. With fingertips pressed into the ground, inhale, come up halfway. Keep the spread between the shoulder blades. Exhale, fold. Do that again. Inhale, lift just halfway. And then exhale, fold. One more time, breathe in, press away from the ground, spread through the shoulder blades, and then fold. Now press into both feet, rise up, rounding up through the spine, stacking the shoulders over the hips, and then extending the arms up over the head. Draw your hands down in front of your heart center. Make a big sweep of your arms, breathe in, and take your hands back up over your head. Forward fold as you exhale here, coming all the way back down to your mat. Hands pressed into the floor, or they can come to your shins for a halfway lift. And then palms plant and you step back to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, right away lower your knees to the floor. Rock back into child's pose just for the length of your exhale. And then inhale returns you to tabletop. Curl your toes from there and go to downward facing dog. Walk both feet forward, find the top of your mat, and fold into yourself, remembering the idea of spreading through the shoulder blade. Rising up by pressing down through the feet, finding that opposite movements to draw energy into the whole body, and then hands to the heart. Inhale, float your arms up. Maybe you turn your palms out and swan dive down as you exhale this time. Find your halfway lift, breathe in, and step back to downward facing dog. Once more here, lower your knees to the floor, tabletop. Sit back towards child's pose. Pull back up on your inhale to tabletop, curling your toes under and then sending your hips to downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward, find the top edge of your mat, hollow out the belly, some spread through the shoulder blades and bow perhaps a little deeper than you have before. Couple breaths here. Shake your head out, yes and no, let something go. Remind yourself that it's in our head that we probably get the most fixated, even more than we do in our bodies. Okay, step back with your left foot now. Step it all the way to the back of your mat. Press your left hand into the floor and sweep your right hand up towards the ceiling for a simple twist. Keep drawing the right hip back towards the back of your mat. Turning your belly button towards your inner right thigh. Pressing away from the ground in equal parts as you're reaching up through the right fingertips. And then let your right hand sweep under your right thigh like a big elephant trunk here. Round through your spine like cat pose. And then inhale, sweep your right arm back up towards the sky. Exhale, round through your spine, cat pose, and the right arm comes underneath your right leg. One more of those. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Exhale, take it underneath. Now frame your right foot with your hands. Turn your back heel down. Press into the ground through both feet so you can windmill your hands up to Warrior Two. Once you're in Warrior Two, draw the right knee forward, right over the little toe, and reach back through the left hand. And use those two actions as like a counterbalancing for this shape. Lowering the shoulders down. Breathing and gazing over your right fingertips. Just as we were doing with our hands early on, do that same thing with your feet, forward and back. So right foot is trying to reach towards the front of the mat, left foot is trying to press towards the back of the mat. So even when we're standing still here, there's lots of activity going on in the body. Now turn your right palm up, tip back into peaceful, just a breath in, and then windmill down to your mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Tabletop. Sit back into child's pose. And back up into tabletop, curling your toes and making your way to downward facing dog. Inhale a breath here. Exhale it out. When you inhale, travel to the top of your mat, folding into yourself when you get there. Nice wide stretch between the shoulder blades. And then step your right foot to the back edge of your mat. Right hand stays down underneath your right shoulder. Left arm reaches up. Draw your shoulder blades towards one another. Reach up through the left fingertips, press down through the right hand. Inhale. And then let the left arm sweep underneath the left thigh, curl up through the mid-body. Two more of those. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, roll your left arm under. Inhale, into a simple twist. Exhale, curl through the spine into a cat pose. Frame your left foot with your hands and turn your back heel down and come up and open into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So reestablish the pose from the ground up, pressing down through your feet, and then extending. Left foot forward, right foot back. Same action happens in the arms. So even though there's nothing to press against, feel as if you can do that with your fingertips. Let your right hand come down by your back thigh. Turn your left palm up. Inhale, find all that space on the left side of your body. And then windmill down to your mat. And this time step forward. Bring the right foot up next to the left one. Fold into yourself. Come up into Utkatasana from here. So bend your knees, lift up, bring shoulders over hips. Draw your arms back next to your ears. And feel that engage, like drawing the belly and the low ribs underneath your heart. So even though that's happening, you're still continuing to breathe, feeling your way into this shape for a couple more breaths right here. And then press into the ground to stand all the way up. Bring your hands to your heart. Release your arms by your side for Tadasana. Take your hands right back up, outside, and then up over your head, hinge and forward fold, all the way down to your mat. Step back with the left foot. Turn the heel down, come up and open into Warrior Two. So we've been here before. Let your body find this quality of Warrior Two, which is strong, powerful, engaged. Turn your right palm up. Bring a little bit of peace and grace into the shape by tipping back into Peaceful Warrior. And then straighten your right leg from here, so make it long. And go all the way to triangle, so your right arm is going to sort of lead the way here. It's going to reach out beyond the edge of your mat. And then it comes down towards your right ankle. Left arm is up. And find that traction in your feet. Right foot pressing forward, especially the back edge, the pinky toe side of your left foot, rolling down and back. And feel how that translates into energy riding all the way up the legs into the body. Navel back towards spine, left shoulder rolling open towards whatever is behind you. Okay, press into both feet. Come back up to Warrior Two by bending into your right knee. Take a breath in here. Circle your arms down as you exhale into a lunge. Inhale your right arm up to the ceiling. Look up at it. Sweep it under your right thigh as you exhale. Chin to your chest. And then reach your right arm back up towards the sky. Place your right hand by your front foot. Step into Downward Facing Dog. From Down Dog, come out long to plank, and then with knees up or down, lower down onto your belly. Flip your feet so the tops of your feet are on the ground. Keep your elbows in close to your body. As you inhale, use mainly your back to come up into your Cobra pose. So it's the low back muscles that are doing the work here. And then exhale, lower down. Do two more of those. Using the inhale to engage the back muscles and come up. And then exhale, lower. Once more, lift. And lower. Press into your hands to come back to tabletop, curling your toes right away and making your way to Downward Facing Dog. Pause here for a breath in through the nose, and you can exhale it out your mouth. Inhale one more breath here, and then exhale it out your mouth. On your next inhale, travel forward towards the top of your mat, coming into your forward fold. Right from here, come back up into Utkatasana. So rising, keeping the knees bent. That navel tucked in and underneath the heart. Shoulders or arms back in line with your ears here. Feel if you're in the whole bottom of your foot and do what you need to do to find some stability from there. And then press into your feet to stand up tall. Bring your hands to your heart. And find Tadasana when you exhale. Float your arms up on your next inhale, high mountain. Turn your palms out. Exhale, hinge, and forward fold. Step back with your right foot this time. Turn the heel down. Windmill your arms up to your next Warrior Two. letting your body take you into the deepest expression you want to find right now. And then turn your left palm up to back into peaceful. Straighten your left leg, and to triangle we go. Finding length in the upper body until the left arm comes down. And then we find that shape of a Titi Trikonasana. Refining it. Letting ourselves move in all directions at once. We do just beyond what feels familiar. Stay for one more breath. And then press into both feet to return to Warrior Two. Inhale here. Use the exhale to cartwheel your hands down. Your back heel lifts up off the floor, and so does your left arm goes up over your head to simple twist. Breathe in, round your left arm under your left side, chin to chest. Inhale, reach it back up. And then exhale, left hand down by your left foot. Step back into downward facing dog. Lower to tabletop. From there, shift right back into child's pose. Using your next inhale to come right back up to tabletop and into downward facing dog. From down dog, you can either stay here or you can come out long to plank. From plank, knees can stay up or down. Let your elbows scrape the side of your body as you come down onto your belly. Feet lift. The inhale is into the back bend, Bhujangasana. And the exhale brings your chin back down to your mat. Tabletop, and then we'll meet up back in downward facing dog. And your breath in, and your breath out. Okay, walk to the top of your mat. Fold in when you get there. And then step back with your left foot. Turn your left heel down. Walk your hands around to the left side of your mat and spin your right toes to face the side of your mat as well. And then you'll be up on your fingertips here. Have your fingertips back right underneath your shoulders. And then if you need to bend your knees a little bit to bring your palms down, turn your fingers in towards one another. So, and then you're going to traction this way. So moving your wrists towards the front and the back of your mat, only to find that space between your shoulder blades. And then use the whole body in the shape by navel to spine. And then you can start to let your elbows go out to the side. Fold forward, keep traction in your hands. Couple breaths here. So we think about this as being a pose that's working the lower body. Here's how you brought the upper body into the pose as well. And then press into your hands, spin your fingers straight forward. And then bring your left hand up onto your hip bones, right hand onto your hip bones. And use your next inhale to stand all the way up. And then extend your arms up wide like for a star shape. When you inhale, press your pelvis forward, your heart up, and look up overhead. Then exhale your hands to your heart center. Turn it into Warrior Two from here. So spin your right foot forward, extend your arms forward and back, and bend into your right knee. On your inhale, tip back to peaceful. On your exhale, find side angle. So right arm can come to the right side, or you could bring your hand to a block nearby. And then find the outer edge of your left foot, engage it with your mat. The length all the way along the left side of your body. Don't let your left shoulder come out of, its position. Keep drawing your left shoulder down and reaching through your left fingertips. Beautiful. Let your left hand windshield wiper down in front of your face. When your fingers are down, turn your back heel up. Turn it into simple twist, rotating through the whole center of the body, right arm up. And then sweep your right arm down to the floor. Step your left foot up to meet your right one and fold into yourself. Come all the way up into high mountain on your inhale. And bring your hands to your heart center as you exhale. I'm just going to switch sides here. And then return your arms to Tadasana. Sweep your arms up, breathe in. Turn your palms out, exhale, and swan dive down. Step back through your right foot. Turn your right heel down and come up into Warrior Two. Tip back to Peaceful. Windmill down to your mat. Walk your hands around to the side of your mat, coming into a second wide-legged forward fold. This time, maybe just see what it feels like to turn your fingers out, away from one another. Press down through the heel pads of your hands. Feel the broadening through your shoulder blades. Now engage the outer edge of your feet, so pinky toe side goes down into the mat. If you look left and right, you can see your arches lifting up off the floor, a little daylight there. Navel to spine, and just feel this really active shape here. One more breath. And then turn your fingers forward, hinge at the hips a little more, and come into a deep forward fold. Careful not to lock out your legs. Shift the weight evenly into the bottoms of your feet. Think about your sit bones, which are suspended in air right now, and drawing them towards the front and back of your mat. Creating space even there. Press into your hands to come back up. Walk around to the top of your mat. When you get there, right heel is up and left arm reaches up towards the sky. Take a breath in. Exhale, windmill your left arm under your front leg. And then sweep it back up. Bring your left hand down by your left foot. First, take your right heel and spin it down. And then cartwheel your hands up into Warrior Two. Tip your way back to Peaceful. And transition right from here into side angle. So left forearm either onto the left side, or your left arm slides down. I go inside my front leg. Block is good too, right arm up alongside your head. So feel how both side bodies are working here. It's not a collapse into the left side. Beautiful. One or two more breaths here. And then turn towards the top of your mat. Spin your back heel up and step forward and fold into yourself at the top of your mat, please. Roll and round and come all the way up to standing. Really Releasing your arms by your side for Tadasana. Make little fists with your hands. And when you inhale, bring your right knee up as you kind of like you're lifting weights here. And then step back. Keep this kind of clasp of your fists. Step back with your right foot. Let it press back through space. Land at the back of your mat and keep your right heel lifted. Draw your shoulders back over your hips here. And then let your arms come down. Release the fist. Inhale, sweep your arms up over your head. And then bring your hands to your heart and let your right knee come down to the floor. Keep your back toes curled under here. Take a breath. Take your right elbow outside your left side as you exhale. So you're in this twist. You can stay here with the right knee down, or you can re-extend your right leg. Pressing your palms together, and notice that that translates to space between shoulder blades. That's what you want. Your breath moving through your body. And if your right knee is lifted, you can lower it back to the floor. Undo the prayer and the twist. Bring your hands down. And a step forward, folding into yourself at the top edge of your mat. Find your way to high mountain using the whole length of your inhale. Bring your hands to your heart on your exhale. Make those little fists again, like you're holding little barbells. Bring your left knee up. Feel the engagement of the upper body here. Drag shoulder blades away from each other. Shoulders down away from your ears. And now we start that big step back with the left leg. Once you feel it land, step the left heel right over, palm onto that foot. Spread through the shoulder blades. Feel what that feels like here. And then release your arms by your side. See if you can keep that action in the upper body. Bring your hands to your heart. Keep the spread through the shoulder blades. Lower your left knee to the floor. Inhale. Twist left elbow outside right thigh. So this prayer is supposed to be sort of right near your sternum. That's what we're working towards. You have this nice big twist. Maybe you stay on your left knee. Maybe you activate the left leg a little more just by coming up into the twist with the left leg lifted. Check in with your breath. This is an easy, usual place to stop breathing. Lower your left knee to the floor. Return your hands by your right foot. And this time step back to tabletop and sit back briefly into a child's pose. But plan to stay here for a few nice, nourishing, cleansing, releasing breaths. Letting go of all that. Okay, come back up to tabletop from here. And you're going to move right down onto your belly. So bring yourself down and lay your arms alongside your body, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Let your left side of your face come down onto the floor. Release and let the tops, and even the backs of your shoulders. Roll down towards the floor here. Feel a little hollowing out through your belly. So it feels like your belly is lifted off the floor just slightly. Finding this even breath. And then bring your right arm up alongside your head. Turn your face so your chin is on the mat. And you can even kind of walk your fingers forward a little bit. Finding a nice long stretch on the underside of the right arm. And then place your left hand right alongside your chest on the left side of your mat. Draw your left knee up towards your hand. Press into your hand. Just roll over onto your right side here. Just come up onto your side so you'll kind of be resting your head on your right arm. And then take your left arm up towards the sky. Reach it straight up overhead. And then just start to let your left arm sweep back around behind you. The head can come off your right arm and just be behind it, off to the right side of your mat. And you're just kind of playing here with how much wingspan you can find. Feeling the stretch across the front of the chest. Using that left leg's ballast, something that keeps you from rolling over onto your back completely. Notice the sensations that you're feeling and breathe into those. Make any kind of adjustments you might need to. And then leading with your left arm, go back on to your belly. Let your left leg go back down by your right one. Onto your back, or belly, excuse me. Just take your arms out wide like a letter T for a moment here. And then shift to the other side. Left arm straight up alongside your ear. Right hand slides in so you can basically use it to press against. As you press into your right hand, you roll onto your left side and your right knee comes up part way. And then like a cactus. And then your left arm reaches up over your head. And then as time and breath and willingness and a whole lot of other things come into play, you're not meeting a wall like I am. You can let those wings open up here. Feeling the spread across the front of the chest. Shoulder blades moving close to one another. Maybe it almost seems like you could place a pencil there and you could squeeze and hold the pencil in place with your shoulder blades. Let yourself have the full experience of being here, knowing that good or bad is about to change. And use your right hand to lead you back over and onto your belly. Let your arms come out wide. Let your head come back down onto the floor. Soften and surrender and release completely into the planet. Bring your hands or your arms alongside your body. Reach them up behind you. Clasp your hands together. Slide your feet together so that your big toes are touching. Then start by just lifting your arms off your back side. So if you have to release the clasp you have in your hands, you can do that and just kind of have like a long arms, like a cape or something, like you're holding the edge of a cape. Otherwise, a little bit more action is to clasp the hands together. So lift your arms above your back side. Press your pelvis into the ground. You're unable to spine. Keep reaching your knuckles towards the back of the room and lift up. Definitely your back muscles are engaged here. And then you can float your feet up off or not for a few more breaths. Shalabhasana. Tendency is to hold your breath, so keep that changing and flowing. And then release. Come back down onto your mat. Turn your head one direction. Return to complete release into the planet. And then one more. This time, bend your knees. Have your feet going up towards the ceiling. Keep your arms back alongside you. You can reach back and catch your feet or your ankles, or you can just keep that holding onto the edges of your cape kind of experience. So a little bit of a grip in your palm and helps engage the upper body here. Suck the navel away from the floor. As you inhale, draw the upper body up and back. Knees are floating slightly off the floor. Whole body experience for sure. All right, release. Turn the other side of your head onto the mat. Soften, let everything drop back down into the earth. Bring your hands alongside your chest. Press up to tabletop. Sit off to one side and swing your legs around to the front of your mat. Just sit here with your legs out long, shoulders stacked right up over your hips. Keep your left hand outside your right thigh. Bring your right hand to your heart, almost like you're saying a pledge. And then as you inhale, sweep your right arm along the horizon, take it all the way back behind you. Turn and look back towards your right thumb. There's a little bit of engagement of the left arm towards the outside edge of your right leg to bring you into a slightly deeper twist. And then come back to center. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. This time right hand outside the left thigh. Reach your left arm forward and we'll just follow the horizon. One arm sweeping towards the back edge of our mat. Notice if your shoulders want to hike up towards your ears, soften them down. It'll press down through your sit bones and up through the top of your head. Follow your left hand along the horizon, back towards the front of your mat. Reach both arms up over your head. Bend your knees so the soles of your feet are on the floor. And as you exhale, sweep your arms underneath your thighs. Opposite hand to opposite elbow, you can find that. And then press back through your spine. So you're rounding into a cat pose here, but your arms are catching in the backs of your legs. It should feel like a really nice low back, middle back, even upper back opener. Just kind of cling to the backs of your thighs here. Press into cat pose, chin towards chest. That space between the shoulder blades. Let go of the cat shape. Sit up, release your arms. Let your knees flap open to the sides of your mat. It's almost hurl yourself forward between your knees. Bring your chin to chest again, but way less action. More of a soft shape in the body. Release the center of the legs, round through the upper body, hanging with the head. Allow the weight of your head to bring you into a deeper forward fold. Just let the top of your head crest towards the floor between your legs. From here, I'll invite you to come up to seat for meditation, or to lay all the way back down onto your back for Shavasana. So you choose. Meditation or Shavasana, both are a beautiful way to acknowledge the ending of something. Both are in many ways a return also to the beginning, where we started. Back to where we started, but different. It's really the definition of transformation. It's changing and becoming different. The difference that we're creating is a return to the fundamental essence of who we are. Each breath, each day, each yoga class, each lifetime, a circle back to where we started, a truer, more authentic version of ourselves, richer, wiser, of knowing the experience. I'm going to allow you to stay here for as long as you would like. Thank you for joining me for class. It's an honor to spend this hour with you. I hope it changes the hours that come in the rest of the day. See you again soon.